And
Yeah.
I'm very curious to know how have you been working over your communication skill?
Yeah, like always try to connect with someone, making conversation. May like if I'm not able to make video conversation, so I try to audio conversation because being as a homemaker, sometimes I'm busy, but I don't skip practice. Like yeah, if I'm not comfortable with video, so I try to make audio conversation. Like sometimes you don't feel, sometimes I feel like I'm not well, and it is very hard to make video conversation. And a part of that, try to read something, listen something every day. Yeah, these kind of activities I do daily basis.
Yeah, that's a great because it doesn't matter what do you do in your day-to-day life for your communication skill. It matters only if you are maintaining your consistency towards your skill, so it will be more beneficial for you, according to me. So you are doing well.
Day by day. If you skip practicing, so sometime you lose and you start getting self doubt. But if you do daily practice, it helps you to boost your confidence. Yeah, that is right.
Yeah, you are right, ma'am. I'm also agree. Like by maintaining some gap, in our skill, we lost our, what I say, passion. You can consider our
Mm.
energy going to get down. Okay, and we are distracted from a different part of it. You can consider because in this era we are living, we have gotten so many distractions, right?
Yeah.
Distractions means like unpredictable activities of the human around us, right? So it's become the cause of losing our interest. That's why we wander into somewhere, right? So it's a really, I think it's a quite difficult to maintain your consistency in the right way, right? For
I
your
want to
skill.
ask, what is your daily routine and what do you do to maintain your consistency, like to learn this language, yeah, get like a betterness in this language. So, what is your daily routine?
Okay, actually, my daily routine I would like to mention actually 9 to 2 p.m. I was in the schools. After crossing 2 p.m., I attend a class of my student and as well as before I got a time for attending session with the learner. I often are willing to sharing my strategy, ideas, methods, whatever I applied in my initial days to improve my spoken English. Okay, so I often try to sharing those kinds of idea with the learner. And like after taking class of my students, I come back at 7 p.m. At my home, and then I do all the work related of my content on etc. You can consider. So
Okay.
these are my routine. I really manage
So,
somehow
people
in good
follow,
manner.
try to follow every day, like this kind of a. Okay. So, what strategies did you apply in your initial days, and what kind of a complication you faced in your like starting days?
Yeah, as a usual you can consider as a beginner, have been facing, during indulging self in this field, like having less, environment and having less people with whom they can maintain consistency, they can interact in this way because all of them, used to, like communicate to each other in their native language. So I was having less people, okay, with whom I could interact this way. And yeah, the one difficulties I had at that time, like so many criticism I used to get by peoples. Okay, demotivations as well.
Mhm.
Okay, so that was my responsibility how to, keep holding my passion. Okay, and how I kept going on, in that way, so I can reach gradually at my destiny. So I had a requirement to ignoring all the criticism and statement of the other and kept going on. Okay, by fixing my mindset in this skill. Because if you fix your mindset, so no one will stop you. No one will mislead you, misguide you. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's up to you to fix your mindset
Yeah,
and work
it
over.
Mhm. It depends on your mindset. If you are passionate to learn something, people will be maybe demotivate you, criticize you, but you don't give like you don't give attention to those things. You don't focus. You always focus on your goal that time. Yeah, in that way you can
Yeah,
keep. on your track. Otherwise, it is very hard to keep yourself on the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was, for me, that was very difficult for me to involving myself for longer in this field
Mm,
because surrounding me, I'm having all the people who always interact to each other in native language.
mm.
There was no any people little bit passion for learning this accent. Okay, this language.
Same
So I
here,
was
Chandra.
little bit.
Being as a homemaker, I am also surrounded by the people now who always interact Hindi language. Like even my family, like friends. So I don't have environment. I just created environment like we can say na biggest blessing is social media. Due to this, we having a WhatsApp group, Skype group. So in that way, yeah, that is the best good thing about. So apart of learning this language, what hobbies do you have? How often do you do them? Like yeah, what hobbies do you have?
Yeah, you can consider by interacting with the new people. It is also part of my hobbies. And
Okay.
except this, I love to travel of various kinds of places and having the different kinds of creativities of the environment and famous place. These are hobbies of mine nowadays.
Okay. Okay, my next question. Do you ever get tired of doing the same thing every day? Like you are doing the same thing, like learning it. Sometimes you get like tired, exhausted, feel like demotivated. Yeah, I am doing the same thing again. So yeah, you feel tired. And then you what do you do
uh,
to self
okay,
motivate?
okay. Let me tell you, yeah, obviously we are the humans, so we have a nature. If we maintain, continuously any work for a long time, so it will start feeling you like some kinds of irritation inside of you, right? By following the one routine into your life, day-to-day life. So how you motivate yourself, it's up to you. Of course, I got so many irritation at myself. What I am doing for long, right? But somehow I just motivated myself by having this cause, by having the reasons. Okay, and through I motivated myself because this is my skill. This is the target of my life. Okay. And if I'm going to complete this journey of a spoken English, so I would have chance to communicate with not only Indian people but also foreigners, right? So it would be much, uh, you can say, appreciable for me and for my village. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, like, what do you do when you get tired and exhausted? To what is the ways you make yourself relax? Like, if you are doing some work and you got tired, so what do you do to make yourself relax?
Whenever I got feel like tired inside of self, so I start watching some content which gives us some amusement feeling like I love to watch web series. So whenever I start watching these kinds of stuff in my day-to-day life, so it will help me to leave, for a while these kinds of pressure of my life in my life, and I get instant so much energy inside of mine and get change my mood and get
Oh,
motivation as well.
oh, that is great. And in that way, so you like watching web series in Hindi or English? Which language you
English,
prefer?
English.
And what kind of a genre? Like horror, yeah, action. What kind of a genre would you prefer?
Mysterious movie I like much
Oh,
more because yeah, because if you are going to watch these kinds of movies, web series, so it will hold you for
mm,
longer. Okay, you
yeah.
will be very keenly, to wait for the coming result,
What happen
by
next? So always
knowing.
in your mind. So yeah, you always wait for what is gonna do next. Yeah. So which platform you use to watch this? Like yeah, YouTube, yeah, any OTT platform.
No, actually, I download from the site.
Okay. So ever you love to go on theater also? Any movie like yeah? How
No,
often you?
at my place, there is no any theater, any
Okay.
hall. I get
Okay.
to download from the site. I don't like purchase any subscriptions.
Oh,
OTT, I often download.
okay. 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 That is great. Hmm. And what is your favorite every day? What you love to do every day? Yeah, you can't live without doing that thing.
Okay. Phones, I can't, I can't using, if I can't live, without using 10 minutes my phone. Okay,
Okay.
this
So
is Yeah,
Yeah, these days now we are getting addiction. Like all the things are done by like calling, and nowadays we are learning this language. So connecting with people, watching any content, so the content. So we are not just using mobile. So we can't live without our mobile. Yeah.
yeah. You can
It,
consider it is our friend,
Mhm.
families, everything.
It is kind of a genie also. If we wish
Yeah,
anything, it is always with there. Now we can get any answer, anything by this mobile. Yeah. And
yeah,
anything you like to do, but it's compulsion to do. Like you don't want to do, but yeah, you have to do daily.
yeah. In the morning time, first you get up, first you see phones, except parents or anyone, right? So
Yeah.
it's a very valuable, part of the human's life now.
Then no, I'm asking, what do you like? Do any work which you don't like to do, but you do daily? Any work,
Mm, yeah, by remembering vocabulary. I do not
oh,
like to remember, but
but you do.
instead of I have to do because it's
Oh.
a part of my spoken English. If I would not remember, then how could I give reply sense, right? Situationally.
So, do you want to ask any question to me? Yeah, I asked you so many. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, why not, ma'am? So, ma'am, I would like to ask you the one questions. What kinds of books do you read nowadays?
Okay, I love to read like self-help book. These days reading Power of Subconscious Mind. I read once or twice, I think, but I am reading again and again because I'm very fond of like about the mind, how it works, and if we think. So like it depends, all things that depends on our mind. If we have fear, so it is very hard to do that thing. So always keep myself motivated. I read that book. And second is one is I'm reading these days Dwapar Kathai. It is a Mahabharat tales. These days I'm reading these two books, but I love na like story book and these kind of books. Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to know what intentionally have you been reading this book by having vocabulary or something else through this book?
Like Dwapar Kathai, it is a very great, it's a very huge, very thick book. So there is too many vocabulary, different vocabulary is there. And we already know the na, story. We don't get bored also by reading that. So in that way, I can say I am reading that book to getting, improving my vocabulary, because there are too much
Okay.
different kind of vocabulary. It is a very advanced vocabulary, and power of subconscious mind, like maintaining both vocabulary and speaking both things, because it's not having vocabulary.
That's a great. And what kinds of a strategy do you apply to remember those vocabulary and recalling in your conversation time?
Yeah, like I don't prefer. Na, like if I start recalling that, we can't make a good speaking like speech. That time we start fumbling. If we try to, I try to make na like yeah using again and again in my mind. Like if I read some vocabulary, so I try to make sentences, and leave it. Like whenever it will come automatically, I will use, and otherwise I replace. Like nowadays I inevitable it is means like that is in an inevitable shashwat. So what, yeah, in that
Hmm.
way I try to read and try to make sentences in my mind. So yeah, so whenever it comes na, so I thought one day it will come automatically. I don't give pressure, because being as a homemaker
Yeah,
I don't have the time much. Mm.
yeah, ma'am, you're right. I'm also agree. If you're precising yourself a lot by recalling any vocabulary, so your fluency could be stopped during conversation time because you have been putting, lots of effort over your mind and you would be distracted at the time, right? You
You
have to
start getting
distract your intentions.
bored, and you feel pressure, you start like so many things. So I always try na like yeah, maybe I'm using one word very frequently, so I replace that word na with advanced word. In that way I try to do that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And another way, by using any vocabulary, you just create situations.
Yeah.
Okay, relatively of your vocab. If you're going to win to create situation related, your vocabulary should be much convenient to recalling and fixing in your sentence, right?
Yeah.
But especially in this time, I'm having a various kinds of learner only. They are not have any kinds of senses how to create situations, right? So they are
Mm.
unable to use and recalling the vocabulary which they accumulated before by any sources, right? But they're casually learning the strategy, way. That's why I
It's unique.
often try to sharing.
Everyone has na, their unique method. We can't say na, this method is maybe that is good for us, that is not good for others. Maybe yeah, everyone has na, they implement according to themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, every people there have their own way of using and calling, right? Yeah, you are right.
If we have one to like vocabulary, we discuss with someone and we try to make together. In that way, na, we feel like comfortable, happy. Otherwise, na, solo learning sometimes you feel very borific. Like yeah, it's kind of a boring learning. Like yeah, but we when you discuss with others, you share with others, and again, so you are gonna to learn that vocabulary for how long? Because recently I
Yeah,
read it means boring. Yeah, so that is I try to use one. Yes, and one is I learn muster means like gathered. Like if you are facing that, so I mustered my courage in that way. Yeah,
yeah, ma'am. That's really unique methods of you, and it will be much applicable in every sources, according to me, in every field.
but I would like to say, na, if you are a beginner, so don't give too much pressure. Just try to speak as much as you can. If you are good at basic English, na, then you can switch to like yeah. Then like in initial days, don't think about vocabulary, don't think about the grammar, whatever already you have in your mind. Because initial days, I try to speak to boost my confidence. When I thought, na, like when I will be able to speak, and I feel like yeah, now that time I after that I like move toward grammar, and after that I move to vocabulary. Because one time if you put too much pressure, na, so you start thinking like yeah, like mobile hangs if you put so many things. Look, like our mind is also like that. If you put too much pressure, it is start like hanging, and it doesn't stop working also.
Yeah, you are right. I'm also agree. Yeah, you're right. Initial days, we do not criticizing self a lot by doing a multiple work, multiple tasks, because cause becoming the cause of only losing your interest, right?
Mm.
And human does not have that much capacity to enduring, the pressure of any kinds of things. We are a very selfless person for self happiness to optimize self situationally, right? If we are
Mm.
having lots of pressure, whether that was very right for us, but we are always willing to leave that. Okay.
Yeah,
And in
you
indulging self in a good situation.
travel endeavors, but not too much. So yeah, initially you should enjoy like yeah, talking with
Yeah,
other, making conversation, writing something. So yeah, in that way na, you keep motivating yourself.
of course, we should be gratitude for self actions, whatever we had taken before. Because of that reason, we are little good for communicate with the people in second language. This is not a belonging to us, right? We are
Mm.
learning second language. Why we should be worry a lot? If we are making mistakes, it's okay. Because obviously we learn through our various kinds of difficulties of our native language. So we made lots of mistakes. At that
Mhm.
time we didn't worry a lot. Then why we should be worry a lot for learning second language? If in order to making mistakes, so no issue, right? Our learning process is going on.
Still, like we are Hindi, but still he na some words speaks like wrong, yeah, mispronounced because his
Yeah,
nature. Sometimes he gets like yeah, he grown up, he's like doing MCA. Still, some words he automatically speaks like wrong. So we can say na sometimes we speak in our language also in Hindi, and we having so many advanced words we don't use in daily life. And when it comes
yeah.
na, so we are not able to pronounce properly. So when it is in Hindi also, how can we expect ourselves we are gonna to speak all the words of English in a very fluent manner, in a very like there are so many hard words. So we are not using daily basis. So it is very hard to pronounce those words. Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, you're right. We are unable to pronouncing accurate words of our native language, so how could I expect from self, right? So using in correct manner all the words of spoken English, which
Mm.
is not a belonging to us, right? So that's why I often I do not take a praise of myself a lot. Whether I'm good in this field or not doesn't matter. I ever feel blessed because at least I know how to communicate with the peoples, right? And gradually this process, will be going on. Obviously, at the one time I would be become perfect in this thing. I believe inside of me,
Yeah, it
right?
comes not gradually. When we start learning anything, na, like maybe car driving, cooking, we start with the small, small thing. And when we are getting na, like perfection in that thing, we don't know, like, yeah, it comes automatically. Just start and doing what matters, consistency. If you are doing nothing regular basis with mindfulness, like, yeah, there's some mindfulness also there. Active listening, active, like, so, yeah, give little bit focus, but don't give pressure. I always try to say others, don't pressurize yourself. Don't give, like, yeah, otherwise the fear, pressure, it holds you back. It's not give you, like, yeah, speaking more, yeah, learning more. Like if you are going gym and you want to get lose your weight within a 2 3 months, it is not possible. Like one day you are doing exercise 7 8 hours, and 2 days you are not doing, so it is not gonna help you. What is matter, 1 hour you are going and you are doing little exercise, and you are doing some changes in your food habits, so it's make you a better. But if you are doing too much hard work, and so maybe it will cause of your, like, you can get some health issues, may cause any problem. So like that also in language,